Guys, welcome back to my channel. I got a ton of messages from all of you on Instagram wanting me to do another recruitment tips / recruitment questions video, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm wearing my Go Greek shirt in honor of this video because you guys should all go Greek. And so to start off, recruitment is definitely one of the most trying and emotional weeks, and you are not the only one that feels that way. So you are not alone in it. Know that you're gonna go through ups, you're gonna go through downs, you're gonna be sad, you're gonna be happy. You're probably gonna cry at least once or twice, even if you're not a crier. It's a hard week for everyone. You're waking up early, you're going to bed late, you're wearing more makeup than you usually wear. Maybe you're doing, just so much more in a day than you are used to doing, and you're out in the hot sun. So be prepared for that. Don't feel overwhelmed because everyone around you is going through the exact same thing. I just want all of you to keep in mind that sometimes a sorority is for you and sometimes it is not. So don't feel like if you go through recruitment and you don't find the place that you're meant to be, then maybe being in a sorority just isn't for you, and that's okay. Or maybe just that sorority isn't for you. One of my key major tips that I want to give you guys is to just focus where you are in the moment you're in. For example, in Alpha Delta Pi, be an Alpha Delta Pi. Don't be thinking and comparing them to every other sorority. Sit and be in that house, learn about those girls, talk to that person. Don't bring up other chapters. That's probably like a big no-no. Kind of going off that, when you're in different chapters, you can talk about the connections you have with those chapters. So like, for example, if you are connected to their philanthropy in like a specific way, philanthropy is breast cancer awareness, and your mother had breast cancer, your grandma had breast cancer, and you want to talk about that, go for it. Talk about that. That's great to like show the connection that you already have for them. And also, if it's that you know someone in that chapter, that's always kind of just a way to like get a little bit more comfortable in the conversation. One of my last tips before I get into the questions that I got on Instagram is use compliments, be positive, just talk to the girls like it's a normal conversation. If you like her shirt or her skirt, don't be afraid to say that. Complimenting them, if you would normally do it, then do it. Like, be comfortable, ask them questions. Don't be afraid to lead the conversation a little bit and to ask questions back to them. So if they ask you, something about your hometown, ask them where they're from. If they ask you where you're living this year, ask them where they live this year. Keep the conversation going and don't be afraid to ask them questions. I wanted to mention this in my last video and I know I forgot to, and I've had a couple of people saying like, what are your big no's about recruitment? First off, don't talk about the 3 B's, boys, booze, bars, all that stuff. Just try to keep it to a minimum. It's okay if like you've been dating a boy for like 3 or 4 years, maybe you like mention it, or like, oh, I've been there with my boyfriend. Probably the end of that story. Like, don't keep just like talking about them, about like parties you've been to, bars you've been to around the area, alcohol, like all that good stuff. Just talk about it at another time and not during recruitment. Also, make sure to not talk about other people and don't talk about another chapter. Being a Rho Gamma, that was something big that I witnessed, and that was really hard for me to hear, girls talking about like other chapters because I literally love all of them. So just keep that in mind that girls feel that way too. Don't be inside a chapter talking badly about another chapter, because first off, that just makes you look like not a very nice person, and then it might make the girls in that chapter not really like you. And don't be rude to the girls you're talking to, because you need to be careful. If you're insulting someone or insulting something they believe in, or you like a bad rep and a bad name, and you don't want that going through recruitment. So now I'm gonna go over some of the questions that I got through Instagram and from some of my subscribers. Can I go through recruitment if I'm in a business sorority on campus? I would say, yeah, go for it. I know that a couple people have gone through recruitment and have joined sororities that way because it's not a Pan-Hellenic sorority. So the only way you cannot go through recruitment, from what I know, is if you're already initiated into a Pan-Hellenic sorority. So if you're in like a business fraternity sorority or something that's not Pan-Hellenic, feel free to go through recruitment. Next question I get asked so much is, can I go through recruitment as a junior or even a senior? Limit to when you can go through recruitment. I've actually heard of people that were like in their 30s signing up for recruitment or trying to. There's no age limit. It's just the fact that the older you get, the less time you're probably going to be spending in the chapter. But I can be completely honest with you and say that going through as a junior is not going to hurt your chances. It's all about like who you are and your personality. But just keep in mind that if you are coming through as a junior and you plan to only be in a sorority for 2 years to finish out till your senior year, some chapters may or may not let that affect how they feel about you. I got asked on Instagram what was my favorite memory and experience during my recruitment process, and honestly I would have to say just like my Rho Gamma and being in my Rho Gamma group. And actually 2 of the girls that I met in my Rho Gamma group when I was going through, we were actually Rho Gammas together last year, and we were in the same group then. So it's just like making friends, and none of us are in the same sorority, but we still maintained a friendship throughout those years. And my Rogama was literally amazing. She was so sweet, so helpful. She honestly was like a major part in helping me choose like where I was gonna run home to, because I was torn. If anything crazy happened to me during recruitment, honestly, no. Crazy or kind of weird was that I walked into a chapter on prep night, and when I went through that year, I don't know if they always do it, but they said our names at the door, like, welcoming Kelsey. And my sister's name is Kaylee, and the chapter actually said welcoming Kaylee, and I was like, what? And it like froze me for a second. And then like after they say your name, you like walk in, and it's like one by one. But my Rogama actually overheard it, and she was like, you don't have to go in there, and like grabs me and was like, do you want to go in there? Are you okay? Are you gonna be okay? Like, do you need to cry? Like, we can sit out here. And then I was like, no, I'm actually fine. It was just kind of weird. And then she's like, all right, go in, we'll talk about it after. And I was like, okay. Should we pack a bag for the day, and what should we put in it? I would most definitely pack a bag for each day, kind of each day just depending on what the day is. So if it's a more formal night, maybe bring some extra eyeliner, some extra mascara, lipstick, whatever you're wearing on your face. Definitely always pack a pair of flip-flops if you're wearing heels those days, just so you can like walk from chapter house to chapter house and be more comfortable and not have to run in your heels. Definitely bring snacks, water. Some people, they bring like blotting pads for your face, do that, tissues. Honestly, bring an extra phone charger, some headphones if you just kind of want to like sit by yourself and like take everything in. If your school does not provide it, make sure you always have a notebook and pen so you can like write about your experiences in each chapter, because you want to have all those notes at the end of the day, because especially for me, like writing down like the main things that happen in the chapter is really good when you go to make your selections. Next question is, how often do people get dropped from every single chapter house? I would say that it is pretty rare. One of my two things that I have to say about that is that if you go through the week and on the last day you suicide, which means you literally just put one chapter, that is completely risking it, and it's why it's called a suicide. That is when I've heard of people not getting any chapter because they suicided. They put themselves in that position to only think that they would do that one and that one only, and when they didn't get that, that's what happened. I know from being on the inside and on the outside, I just know that if you are honest with everyone throughout the week and you keep selecting chapters each and every single day, and on the last day you have 1, 2, or 3, you should be good and be okay. I don't really hear too much about someone getting dropped from every single house on the first day, on the last day, but it is a system. It can happen. Maybe it just wasn't for them, so don't go in thinking it could happen to you. Can you participate in other chapters' philanthropies, and can you be friends with girls in other chapters? Number one, yes, you can be friends with anyone in any chapter. There's no reason why an 80 Pi and a Zeta can't be best friends, right? Because then you have your sisters, and then you have all your other friends too, and you can all just like share friends, and then you just have a ton of friends, and it's great. Because I know going through recruitment, you fall in love with maybe a philanthropy and you really want to go there because of that, but you can participate in every single person's philanthropy. For example, at our school, the Zeta Tau Alpha actually has what's called Zeta Lip Sync, and it's like a dance competition that all like new members do. So every single chapter on campus participates in it. So that's awesome. Even if you don't join Zeta, you can still participate in that dance event, and every chapter will participate in it. If you are really passionate about a philanthropy and that's not the one chapter that you're in, you can always donate. You can always reach out to them and try to help out with their philanthropy. There's many ways to get involved. Participating in like fun little events like Cheers for Charity, like dance competitions, like cornhole toss, like all those different events you can participate regardless of what chapter you're in. And depending on your school, I know for us, Panhellenic has a philanthropy of their own, so maybe at your school you guys have one as well. That's a great way to participate in a philanthropy with other sorority women that aren't just in your chapter. So that is all the questions that I have for today. If you guys have any more questions or any comments or anything, leave them down below or message me on Instagram. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know if you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you guys in my next recruitment video. Bye guys! I wanna but I'm broke.